Hello, everybody. It's another great day here in paradise. Paradise that I created, and we could all create paradise no matter where we're at. And it is an important part of health. And if you truly want to be healthy, you have to love where you live, what you do on a regular basis. And when you look back at your life, you got to think about uh, the currentness of your life and the future of your life and everything like that. And when it comes to health, that seems to be a big problem. The problem is, uh, people don't think about disease and their health and their wellness oftentimes until it's too late. And I heard a great example recently is it's like you take the Titanic, for example. The Titanic saw the iceberg, but it saw it and didn't have enough time to turn around. And that's what people do often with their health. We have technology today to foresee diseases that can come in our own personal health, but we look so late for that when we finally realize we're sick, we don't have enough time to make that change. The more time you give your body to make a change, the better off you're going to be, and the most likely you're going to be able to overcome that. I have this fruit here that just fell on the floor from this tree here, and half of it's smashed, but half of it's still good. I'm tasting it. So good. But that's the key here, is to understand we want to learn what is in our forecast for life when it comes to our health, and put ourselves in a place where we have enough time to do the things we can do to overcome that. Now they have something that is often described as medicine 3.0. See, medicine 1.0 is when we didn't know the human body and the lifespan was so short and people died at such an early age. But then medicine came along where people were able to look through microscopes and identify disease and take antibiotics and things like this, where now they could help make the lifespan longer by treating particular things that arose. But now in the medicine 3.0, we have the opportunity to forecast in the future what is going to be in our path. So, for example, with the iceberg and the Titanic, we can foresee the path where we're traveling. And if you're going to be traveling, let's say you're in you have a ship and you want to take it somewhere, and you take that ship into a place that has a lot of icebergs, there's a very good risk and chance that you are going to have an issue with an iceberg. So, for the example with the Titanic, if they had the technology we have today, they would have been able to see this time of year it's not safe to go in that type of water because there's many dangers in that area. Well, when we transform that to our health and our diet, today we have such amazing technology where we can foresee certain things before they're actually there to help us realize the danger, and hopefully we'll be smart enough to avoid those things. So it might not be a ship and an iceberg, but it might be a food and a heart attack. We can look back at our family history. We can look at our genetics. We can look at markers in our blood, and we can determine if we're at a high risk for certain cancers, if we're at a high risk for other popular diseases that other members in our family might have succumbed to. And as we see these things, we can help make better choices, not when they arise, but prior to them arising. And that is where true prevention would really start to take place and really help us to make these wiser choices. The question is, or the thing is, how many of you are willing to make these changes before a doctor gives you a diagnosis, before you actually feel pain? That's the key. It's not just called preventative medicine. It's called smart medicine. It's not just called preventative lifestyle. It's called wisdom. to avoid these things and take care of these things before they become a problem. Taking advantage of the advances in technology that we have the opportunity to do so today, by changing a diet, eating a certain way. And see, a lot of people aren't willing to give up certain foods or do certain things until they've been diagnosed by a doctor. Why wait? You know, obesity is something that just intrigues me so much because a person actually sees themselves getting big. They see themselves getting obese. Some people will say, I see where this is heading and I don't want to live a life where it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Each day they're putting on more weight. So they start reversing the process. Again, that's something they literally physically see. But then there are people that actually see it but continue to put on the weight. There's something that has more of a power over them to stop what they see. And when you could figure out what that driving force is to continue to harm yourself while you're seeing these things, now you can start to think about, why am I not looking and forecasting with the technology out today about things I cannot see, about the things that I'm not looking at, about the things I'm not doing? What can motivate me, or what is stopping me from doing those things? And then we can look at the reasons that people are stopping themselves from doing these things, and what can we do about it? Some people say I'm obsessed with health. I've just forecasted the future areas of where I'm going. If I was a pilot and a captain of a ship, I would know the time of year I'm going in a particular place and eliminate as much danger as possible with the technology that's out there. And I'm not a captain of a ship. I don't know anything about boats and ships, but I do know about forecasting the health of my future by eliminating certain foods from my diet, by not doing things I just absolutely hate doing, by loving the people around me, by paying attention to my physical health and my emotional health, along with my diet and these things, and making choices that are going to reduce the danger of disease that so many other people suffer from. The thing is, these other people have the same technology that I have. And why aren't we using it? So I want to encourage you to use the technology that's out there. And guess what? Doesn't have to be a lot of money. Yes, some testing's involved and so on. But the research shows eating certain foods create certain problems. Eliminating certain foods help reduce the danger that can be created by those problems. So we need to figure out and overcome why, whether it's an obese person not giving up food or somebody who can just do better by forecasting their health puzzle. What is stopping us and making the move to do that? So I want to give you some tips and suggestions right now of things you can do to hopefully help you get on the path. First thing is, you want to look at your diet. Look at the foods you're eating, the times you're eating them, and look at your overall health. Are you achieving the goals that you want to achieve? Look at your family history. Does your family history have certain things? If everyone dies of lung cancer, well, did they all smoke? Was secondhand smoke involved? If everyone dies of a particular cancer, well, are there any foods in the diet that you could figure out that can lead to cancer, or an emotional distresses that are common in the family, like anxiety or fear or other phobias? The more we plug this information in, the better off it's going to be. Now, when you talk about the cost of these things, we have the technology of artificial intelligence where you could literally type your stuff into the computer and it can give you an answer. So you could say, I eat McDonald's for breakfast and lunch and dinner 5 days a week. I'm starting to put on weight and my heart hurts when I wake up. What can I do to avoid serious heart problems? Put that into AI and see the answer that it gives you. Or you could say, what's better, a bagel with butter or a toast with jelly? What's healthier? Put that into AI. You don't need me to tell you anymore. You got the information right there. Everyone in my family died of smoking. What can I do to make sure I don't die of smoking? Put it into AI. And technology continues to grow. So let's use it. And now we got to actually do it. When it tells us don't eat this or don't do that or go to sleep this time and so on, we got to actually do it to make these advancements in these strides. So in doing the research, I like to interview a lot of people to see their story and hear their story, seeing what's worked and what's not worked for other people, but also for myself, learning and growing and seeing what's worked for me and what doesn't work for me, and using the information that's out there, taking it to the next level. And then we can look at something like cancer. Cancer is the big thing that so many people fear, and there's, what do you want to call it, medicine 3.0, whatever you want to call it, where we can forecast our risk for getting cancer in our lives. And the number one way to prevent something is to prepare for it. So, and the longer we give ourselves time, we're going to figure it out. Like, again, if the Titanic had time to move, it would have missed the iceberg. If we have time to know we're at high risk for cancer at 70 years old or dementia or something else, we can start doing things now to reduce that. And there's a lot of information on ways to reduce cancer and heart disease and all these different things. We got to just do it. So I want to encourage you, whatever it is, to do it. Research it and then do it. And don't wait until you got to go to a doctor and you get a diagnosis, or don't wait until you feel pain. Do it now. Don't wait till you're sick. One of the scariest, worst things I hear is people say, Paul, you changed because you were sick and you had to change. When I'm sick, then I'll make changes like you did. But until then, everything will be fine. Don't be naive, folks. Use the great information we have there for your future. And the sooner you start, the better off you're going to be. All right? All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Put your comments and questions below. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.